Disclaimer. Do not take our advice seriously. We are only fans of the game. Please do not bet your house on these tips. Welcome to the season premiere of Auto Draft, presented by Local Big Time. If you haven't, go over to localbigtime.com and check it out. Here at the Auto Draft Show, we couldn't be more excited that you chose us to tune in as we talk about fantasy football. It is, of course, our job here at Auto Draft to take the thinking out of building a championship lineup and to make sure that you don't get chirped in your fantasy football league. We have a great show for you today as we look at Week 1 matchups, who to start, news from around the league as teams start to finalize their 53-man roster, a lot of big names getting cut over this Labor Day weekend, and of course, a DraftKings lineup for all you degenerate gamblers out there looking to make a little moolah this season. The Auto Draft Show's got you covered. So let's jump right in. We got a heater of a Week 1 lineup. Starting at the 1 o'clock hour, being a huge mass hole, I got my eyes on the Pats versus Miami game. I really can't wait to see what Cam Big Hat Newton does under center. I mean, the guy's been itching to show the league what everyone's been missing out. But I think the game to watch involves my ex-girlfriend, Tom More Weapons Brady, as they take on the Saints. Two heavyweights going at it Week 1. Love to see it. Can't wait. Given the fact that there's been 0 preseason games, I'm going to go ahead and take an educated guess and say that the scores are going to be very high for Week 1, which will be a fantasy owner's delight. Take a look at news from around the league as teams start to finalize their 53-man rosters. We take a look at Washington football team. Quarterback Alex Smith has in fact made the 53-man roster. Of course, we all know how his season ended with that gruesome injuries. Lenny Fournette has a new home, teaming up with Tom Brady. I actually love this move. That's kind of why I drafted in my own league. I mean, the guy's a 1,000-yard rusher, and he had a 8-man box that he was seeing every day in Jacksonville. So team that up with Tom Brady and all those weapons, and it's easy money. I might as well just collect my trophy now. Next question. Let's pivot now to some news fresh out of the desert in Las Vegas. Newly acquired quarterback Marcus Mariota will be placed on IR for the next 3 weeks, which has forced the Raiders to adapt quickly and sign DeShone Kizer as their number 2, backing up Derek Carr. So thoughts and prayers to the former Heisman winner. Hopefully he has a speedy recovery. I'm interested to see what that quarterback battle is going to look like moving forward. Now let's take a look at who to start Week 1, beginning with the quarterback position. People to keep an eye on from this list: Tom Brady. I'm excited to see how he performs in that offense with all those weapons. I'm expecting big things from him this year. Now on to running backs. No surprises, really. I really love Joe Mixon, especially with a rookie quarterback. I'm expecting him to get the ball early and often, so big numbers fantasy-wise. Couple surprises for Week 1 wideouts. I really like Julian Edelman. I think he's going to be a great security blanket for Cam Newton, so kind of a sneaky start if you do choose to play him. I think it's going to pay out. Tight ends, picking up right where they left off. No surprises really from this list, except for one. Rob Gronkowski's back in the mix after taking a year off from football. I'm interested to see how he does down there in Tampa, gelling with all those other weapons and Tom Brady. Week 1 kickers, Will Lutz seems like a sure thing, especially going up against Tampa Bay. That game, it's going to be really exciting to watch. I'm expecting it to be very high scoring, which means a lot of PATs in Mr. Lutz's future. Week 1D, the Steelers are stacked, and they just got Big Ben back, which is huge, so that's going to put a little more pressure on opposing teams' defenses, help the Steelers D by staying off the field, staying rested. All right, on to one of my favorite subjects. We use the hashtag fantasy football draft nightmares, and we just read aloud some of our favorite ones. So starting with at DJ Joe, hashtag draft nightmares. Our league commissioner forgot to set the draft order, and Yahoo auto set the new order. I went from drafting 1 to 11. That's a tough bounce. This one's from Fan Tavit. Joined a 12-team PPR league a few years back. Mix of vets and complete noobs. Denver defense pick number 5 overall. Spit out my beer, and I never waste beer. This one's from at Bam_it's Chelsea. Ha ha ha. This was the worst date ever, so he took me to his parents' basement and ignored me to play fantasy football for an hour. Then, when he finally did speak to me, he told me how he discovered, actually, you know what? It's too early for the rest of the story. It sounds like Chelsea and I might have gone on a date a couple times. That one's getting personal. And last but not least, this is from @Isaac11. I have Gurley in my team name and I didn't get to draft him. Oh, that's a tough bounce. I want to say you might have tipped your cap a little early on who you're going to draft, but that's just me. Now, if one day fantasy is more your thing, we got you covered. That's the end of our show. If you haven't already, check out autodraftshow.com, and we'll see you Tuesday for a new episode. We'll talk about Week 2 stardoms and waiver wire pickups, so stay tuned.